So now let's keep talking about a topic that I feel is really interesting. Would be the concept of Parrhesia. So we know that Parrhesia is a concept, and what I found is really interesting about that is that it is a topic that is a concept, and everyone has a different meaning, a different definition about it. So let's talk about. In general terms, for you and for me, what is Parrhesia? For me, it would be like telling the truth above all. What would it be for you?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Parrhesia, well, it was the word that I didn't listen until last week. So now that I have like a little bit of knowledge about Parrhesia, for me, Parrhesia is like telling the truth, but telling a truth that may have consequences, like bad consequences on your life. So just tell the truth about anything, about the consequences, about people may hate you.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, you're talking about five characteristics of Parrhesia. So let's just mention them and talk a little bit about them. So let's not take too much time about that. So we know that we know, for example, frankness. That would be like giving you an example. Frankness. It would be like it is difficult for the Parrhesia exercise in the case of frankness because sometimes it is hard to express yourself. So I can tell the truth about something, but I do not know how to express that idea, and you might get you get may ambiguous that idea I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm gonna add something about frankness. Is that you also have to tell like the truth in the most clear way of telling the truth and the easiest way to
Yeah.
the people to understand that, because as you said, it may be like an ambiguous answer, so people will have like different concepts or knowledge about what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, the other one of these five characteristics is duty. So in duty, we can say that Parisians, they don't have the duty to tell the truth. Like it's not an obligation for them, but they consider it their duty because they are like really true to themselves. So they say like I have to do it because it's the right thing to do. So it's like they are not obligated, but they do.
Yeah, that's true. The other characteristic of Parrhesia would be truth. That I guess that's the most difficult one because is I mean it is pretty difficult to define that. So I mean, what is truth? I guess that is we can relate the truth with the concept of faith. Like yeah, I mean, I can tell you that there is something behind you, but do you have faith to believe in what I'm saying? I guess that's the characteristic of faith in this case.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a little similar to like being all the time as a telling the truth. We don't know will is what is like the real true. Like what you're saying may be your true, and what I'm saying is my true. But yeah, and we also have like two more characteristics that are danger. For example, telling the truth put your life in danger sometimes, not all the time, because we have to take into account that people that tell the truth in this characteristic is like people that are below authority people or people with power. So they tell the truth about those peoples, about the society they live in, even though they may have consequences, they are putting their life in danger. And we also have criticism. Nowadays, we all consider critics. So we all criticizing all the time. Oh no, that food is nasty. But do we cook that food? I don't think so. So I think that the only people that may have like the power to criticize something is they have like a knowledge on that topic. So I think that the Parisians that criticize something is because they have the knowledge that comes about criticizing that thing.
Yeah, and I find really interesting or really. I mean, why this topic is hard to I mean just to have a conversation about it is because as it is a concept we have to take into account a lot of things. And for example, in this case, I'm thinking about I don't know. For example, the difference between our not the difference, but when or where's the limit of doing the Parrhesia exercise, taking into account the facts or the opinions, and as I just said, for example, the truth, the faith. I mean, that would be things that are difficult to take into account in this topic. Yeah, I mean, where's the limit of telling the truth and saying what or and saying a fact? What is a fact? I mean,
Yeah.
just and a popular that a really big amount of people believe.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell the difference between all those concepts,
of
like
course.
telling the truth, facts, opinions, faith. It's all like sounds the same. But I think that it might be like a little different because facts are like to say a fact there must be evidence, like scientific evidence that support the fact. So an opinion is just like what I think or what you think of something. And faith is faith. People believing in something, but they don't know if what they believe is real, it's true.
Yeah, but for example, I mean, so let's say someone who, I mean, in this case, I mean, we have, we're getting into a controversial topic, which would be the existence of God. For example, in this case, God as a figure, as the image of God is a faith. I mean, believing in God, being Catholic or whatever would be a faith exercise because you believe in something. You have a religion, which is something you practice because it helps your soul or whatever. I mean, that's what faith is. And in this case, for example, Catholic, for example, in this case, would believe that the world were created in 5 days and 6 days, and God rested on the seventh one, or whatever. But we also know that there is evidence that the world was. We have an evolution thing and or the Big Bang. I mean, those are scientific evidence. So we're are Catholic not practicing Parrhesia, even though they are telling the truth, or an opinion that is really controversial. That's the real interesting topic about that.
Yeah, because it's difficult too. Because you know we have evidence of the evolution of the human being, like we evolved from monkeys and chimpanzees. We evolved from that, but we also have evidence that Jesus lived on earth, and we have like the place where he died, the clothes that he used. So, what makes the true really the true? Like, we believe in what we see, but what if someone said that is the truth, and we believe that, but it's not really the truth? Like, no one. I think that no one really knows the real truth behind everything.
So let's get this into a conclusion. For you, is it hard to tell the truth?
For me, I think that it's hard to tell the truth. Although all the time telling the truth is a lot of difficult. Like it's really difficult doing all the time telling the truth, facing consequences, put yourself in danger. It's hard, but sometimes you can tell the truth, like, but a truth that also is convenient to you. But being like the fully true, I think some people can do it. Most of them don't.
For example, for me, I mean, I understand what you're saying and why telling the truth is hard, but for example, I believe that actually telling the truth I mean, if you, for example, say that telling the truth it's easy because you only have to be brave and a bit smart, in that case, I believe that telling the truth it is easy. Yeah, you have to take into account, for example, the criticism you get, that you're putting yourself in danger, and what I'm saying that you have to take into account that you have to be a bit smart. I'm talking about knowing how to express your opinion. In that case, we can say that maybe telling the truth it is easy, but we just don't want to.
I agree with that a little bit, but we also have to take into account that our memory is not always like excellent. So our memory can play with us. So it may create an image for you to believe in that you think that happened, but it didn't happen. And you say that it's true, but it's not really true. So what is the real truth?
Yeah. I mean, what I find really interesting about this is that we will never get into a conclusion. Yeah, because it is a concept that we all defined Parrhesia as a definition that we all put on that, and it is valid.
But it's like, yeah, it's valid. Like, the definition is totally valid. Like, maybe people may apply that. We don't know if they are really true Parisians, but it's also difficult because we have like a lot of things to take into account and a lot of things that like are biological, so it's hard. It's hard to put like to do something knowing that you think that is good, you think that is true, and it's not.
And for example, we can say that this exercise would be valid in, like, let's say, in a social question terms or philosophy. But for example, in a political party as a question, this would be much simple. I mean, telling the truth. But actually, no, I actually believe that telling the truth will always be related with the philosophy. I mean, even if you're asking that in the law parties, for example, asking like, no, the truth is what the Constitution said. I mean, that still have a for each exercise behind that. So it won't be just related with philosophy.
Yeah, in reality, it's like taking into account even though like biological things. So it's not philosophy; it's also scientific.
Yeah.
It's also mathematic. It's also religious. So it's hard. It's hard to tell. It's hard to conclude something. But as we said, you have your truth. I have my truth. I believe that what I'm saying is the right thing. You believe what you are saying is the right thing. So that's it. That's like the only thing that matters. Being true to yourself.